All right, everyone, get ready, because today we are taking a deep dive into something pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
GPT Runner.
Definitely making some noise in the AI world, this one.
It really is. And, at its core, it's all about making AI easier to work with.
Streamlining.
Yeah,
I like that.
especially when it comes to working with your own files. Like,
Oh,
imagine
right,
having like a storybook, but
Yeah.
for
Yeah, but for AI.
AI presets. So cool, right?
Very cool.
Yeah, we got a bunch of stuff to go through to really break this down.
We do docs articles, even some code snippets that point to this tool really changing the way we develop and use AI.
Yeah, and I think one of the most fascinating things about GPT Runner is that it's not just like another AI tool.
Right. It's not just another one thrown on the pile.
No.
It's really laser focused on solving a very specific problem.
It's like the creators of GPT Runner, they're like, well, we know how frustrating it is to constantly copy and paste code into ChatGPT.
Yeah.
And they're like, we're going to flip the script.
Yeah, like why do we have to keep doing that?
Yeah,
Why can't we just have a conversation with our files using AI
exactly.
correctly?
Like straight up.
Yeah.
So no more messing around with contest windows
Right.
or trying to cram everything into like one single prompt.
Yeah, for sure. That sounds so much better, right?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, like what a relief
I know.
for anyone who's ever felt like they're fighting AI rather than working with it.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it even gets better.
It does.
So GPT Runner, they had this idea of AI presets,
Okay.
which are basically like reusable configurations for how you interact with the AI.
Yeah. So almost like a saved
Yeah,
set
it's
it.
a saved setting, exactly.
Yeah.
So you can version control them, share them with your team.
Like a playbook
It's a playbook.
for how to use AI
Yes.
across your
Seems-
projects.
I love that. Okay, so we're talking about AI presets, we're talking about file conversations, but I'm still a little fuzzy.
Yeah.
What does that actually look like in practice?
Yeah, sure.
Like, give me a real world scenario.
Okay, let's say you're working on this big, massive code base and you want to get like a quick summary of what a specific function does,
Oh, yeah.
right? So instead of copy and pasting that whole thing into ChatGPT,
Yeah.
you could point GPT Runner at that file and be like, yo,
Yeah.
break this down for me. What is this doing?
GPT Runner just knows.
And it uses that predefined AI preset
Okay.
to analyze the code,
Mm.
and it gives you back a nice, clear, concise summary.
So it's like having an AI assistant
Yeah,
that can just understand and explain code.
exactly.
I can already see how valuable that would be.
Yeah.
For anyone who's like working on unfamiliar code bases or like onboarding new team members.
Yeah, or just getting up to speed on a new project quickly. Like,
Yeah.
there's so much potential.
And the cool thing is it's not limited to just code analysis, right?
No, not at all.
You can create presets for all sorts of things,
Yeah, like what?
like generating documentation,
Okay, yeah.
refactoring code,
Mhm.
even writing unit tests.
Wait, GPT Runner can write unit tests? Wow, okay, hold on. That's amazing.
I know, right?
I'm starting to see the power of this.
And that's really just scratching the surface.
Yeah.
Because the power of GPT Runner is in its flexibility
Mhm.
and extensibility.
Right.
It's built to understand that AI is constantly evolving.
Yeah.
So GPT Runner has to be adaptable too.
It's got to keep up.
Yeah. And that's why it supports custom AI model configurations.
Oh, wow.
And you could even use third-party LLMs.
Okay, for those who don't live and breathe AI, can you explain what an LLM is?
Yeah, so LLMs are large language models,
Okay.
and they're like the
This is
brains
the brain.
behind AI tools like ChatGPT.
Okay, got it.
So they're these super powerful neural networks that are trained on massive amounts of data, and they can generate text, translate languages, write different kinds of creative content, and answer your questions in an informative way.
Like the engine of the car.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
So by supporting third-party LLMs, GPT Runner is basically future-proofing itself.
Yeah. Right, because AI is changing so fast. You
Yes.
don't want to be locked into one thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, you need that freedom to choose the best LLM for you.
Exactly.
And then as new ones come out, you can just swap them in.
That is huge. In a world where AI is just changing at such a rapid pace,
Yeah, constantly
it
changing.
feels like the creators of GPT runners are really thinking long-term.
The long game.
Yeah. About how this tool is going to fit into the broader AI landscape.
Yeah, for sure. And one of the things that excites me most about their long-term vision is that they really emphasize locale support.
Oh, tell me more about that.
So it's not just an English language tool.
Sure.
They're making it accessible to developers all over the world.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's built in support for multiple languages. And I think that is key to making AI inclusive and globally relevant.
Yeah, it's so refreshing because so often with these cutting edge tools, Initially, they're very limited.
To English.
Yeah, and it creates a barrier
Yeah, it does.
for so many people.
Yeah.
So it's awesome that GPT Runner is taking a much more inclusive approach.
I agree.
And not only are they thinking about language, they're also thinking about privacy.
Oh, tell me about that.
So GPT Runner has this privacy-first approach,
Yeah, okay.
which means that all of your data stays on your machine.
So no need to worry about sending sensitive code up to the cloud.
Exactly. You have complete control over your data,
Yeah.
which is essential for building trust, especially for companies that are dealing with confidential information.
Right, because you can't have that data just floating around out there.
Yeah.
You need to keep it under wraps.
Exactly. Okay, so we've talked a lot about what GPT Runner is
Right, like the nuts and bolts.
and how it works, but I think now we need to shift gears
Yeah.
and talk about, so what?
Yeah, but
Why should developers, and really anyone working with code or data, care about this tool?
the big question, right?
Yeah, like what are the real-world benefits that get you excited?
Yeah, that's the juicy stuff. Let's get into that.
I think we should, but we'll do that after a quick break, so stay with us.
Don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're back, and we were talking about like the why behind GPT Runner, like why should people care?
Yeah, because it sounds cool, but
But does it actually make a difference?
does it actually make a difference? Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's where things get really interesting.
Okay, let's hear it.
Because this tool is not just a cool tech demo.
Okay.
It's something that could fundamentally change how we work with AI.
Really?
Yeah. The creators of GPT Runner, they talk about this key challenge in AI development, right? And it's managing and sharing prompts.
Oh, yeah. Prompts can be a pain,
Huge pain.
especially when you're working on something complex.
Exactly. And before GPT Runner came along, developers were stuck like manually copying and pasting code snippets into AI models, which was like so time consuming,
Yeah.
error prone,
Yeah.
and just difficult to collaborate on.
Not fun.
Not fun at all. But GPT Runner solves this problem by
Okay.
letting developers create these AI preset files. And you can version control them, share them, just like any other code.
So it's like instead of emailing back and forth these giant chunks of code and trying to explain how to use them with ChatGPT,
Right, exactly.
you could just share a little AI preset file.
Yeah, a little package of goodness.
That sounds like a dream come true.
It's so much easier.
Yeah.
And think about like the bigger impact this could have on organizations as a whole.
Yeah, because it's not just about making one developer's life easier.
Right, it's about the entire team,
Yeah.
the whole organization.
The whole org, yeah.
With GPT Runner, teams can create standardized AI workflows,
Okay.
right? So everyone's using the same AI language,
Same playbook.
same playbook, best practices.
I love that.
And this leads to more consistent results,
Makes sense.
less errors, and just like a faster development cycle overall.
That's a really strong argument for GPT Runner,
It is.
especially for companies who are like heavily invested in AI development.
Right. They want to make sure they're doing it right.
Yeah, but it sounds like the benefits go beyond just code.
They do.
You mentioned before that it could be used for generating documentation, refactoring code, even writing unit tests.
Yeah. And those are just a few examples.
Yeah, just scratching the surface.
It's really flexible.
Yeah.
It can be used for all sorts of tasks. It just depends on what you need it to do.
Okay, so give me a picture. Paint me a picture. I'm a project manager at a software company.
Mm.
How would I use GPT Runner?
Okay, so imagine you're onboarding a new developer
Okay.
to this big, complex project, right?
Yeah.
Instead of spending hours explaining the code base, all the different coding conventions, you could just point them to a set of GPT Runner presets
Oh, wow.
that have already been made for that project.
Already done.
Yeah, and these presets can handle stuff like generating documentation, analyzing the code for potential bugs, even suggesting improvements.
It's like having an AI onboarding buddy
Yeah, exactly.
who can just answer questions instantly.
They get up to speed so much faster.
Yeah, and they can actually start contributing sooner.
Exactly.
That's huge.
Huge time saver.
Yeah, for everyone.
And beyond onboarding, think about code reviews.
Yeah.
Automating all these repetitive coding tasks.
Yeah.
Even help with project planning.
So it's really about working smarter, not harder.
Right, empowering your team
Yeah, I love that.
to be more efficient.
So it's not just for developers.
No.
Anyone who works with code or data can benefit.
Exactly.
That's amazing. And with its focus on like locale support and privacy,
Right.
it really feels like a tool that can be adopted by all kinds of organizations.
All sizes, all industries, all over the world.
That's incredible. And that brings us to another really exciting part of GPT Runner, the roadmap.
The roadmap.
Yeah, what's next?
What's coming down the pike?
Yeah, what are they cooking up?
So they have some really big plans for the future, including an AI preset store.
What?
Yeah, like a store where users can
Share and discover.
discover new ways to use the tool.
Oh my gosh.
So imagine a community of developers from all over the world,
Yeah.
all contributing their best AI presets.
It's like a library of AI knowledge.
A library of AI knowledge
Yeah, that's amazing.
that anyone can access.
It's like GitHub for AI prompts.
Yeah, I like that.
Collaborative platform where people can learn from each other.
Share their expertise.
Yeah. Build on each other's work.
Yeah. I think the potential for driving innovation in this space is just immense.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine being able to find an AI preset for, like, any task you can think of.
Anything.
Analyzing financial data,
Yeah.
generating creative content,
Okay.
writing poetry, you name it.
Wow.
This kind of community-driven AI development could really democratize access to AI in a way we've never seen before.
Yeah, like anyone with an internet connection could suddenly have the power of AI at their fingertips.
It's a really exciting vision.
It really is, and it speaks to this broader trend
Yeah.
of AI becoming more and more integrated into our lives.
Like, it's not just this thing in a lab anymore.
No.
It's out in the world.
Yeah.
And GPT Runner is a prime example
Yeah.
of how AI is becoming this practical tool
Yeah.
that anyone can use.
To solve real-world problems.
Exactly.
Okay, we've covered so much ground today,
We have
from the nitty-gritty details of GPT Runner
the nuts and bolts
to its potential impact.
on organizations and individuals.
Yeah, but before we wrap up,
Yeah.
I think we should take a closer look at some of the features that make GPT Runner so unique.
Yeah, let's dive into those.
Okay, we'll be back after a quick break.
Okay, we are back. And we spent the last two parts really digging into GPT Runner.
Yeah, we talked about the what and the why.
Yeah, and now it's time to zoom in on some of the cool features, the things that make it tick.
Yeah, and I think this is where it gets really interesting.
Right, because these little details,
Yeah.
they can make a big difference in how you actually use the tool.
Yeah, absolutely. So what's one feature that you think is particularly cool?
Okay, well, one that stands out to me is template interpolation.
Okay.
Now, I know that sounds kind of technical.
Yeah, a little bit.
But it's actually a really practical and powerful idea.
Okay, break it down for me.
So let's say you have an AI preset for like summarizing research papers.
Okay.
With template interpolation, you can easily customize that preset to focus on specific keywords or themes
Okay.
without having to like manually edit the prompt every single time.
So it's like instead of having this rigid preset that only works in one specific situation,
Right.
you have this flexible template
Yeah.
that you can adapt to all different kinds of situations.
Yeah, it's like a Swiss Army knife of AI presets.
Love that. A Swiss Army knife.
Multi-purpose?
Yeah, exactly. And it seems like this idea of like customization and control
Yeah.
is a big theme with GPT Runner.
It is. They're giving users the power to really tailor their AI experience to what they need.
Yeah, instead of forcing them into like a one-size-fits-all approach.
Exactly. And you see that philosophy in another key feature, too.
Okay. Which is?
The ability to configure custom AI models.
Okay, so you're not stuck with just one AI model.
No, you have options.
Yeah.
You can pick from a bunch of different models, including third-party LLMs.
Oh.
And you can configure them to fit your exact requirements.
So it's like having a whole toolbox
A toolbox full of AI.
full of different AI models, each with their own strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah, I see.
And you can mix and match and fine-tune them.
Yeah, you're in control.
You're the puppet master.
That's right. And that level of control is really important for anyone who wants to, like, push the boundaries of AI.
Yeah, like you're not limited to just what's out of the box.
Right. You can experiment and explore new approaches.
Yeah, and really make the AI work for you.
Exactly. Make it your own.
Okay, so we talked about template interpolation, custom AI model configurations, and of course the core features like AI presets and file conversations.
Yeah. The heart of GPT Runner.
Yeah, is there anything else that really stands out to you as like a game changer?
You know, we touched on it before, but I think it's worth highlighting, again, the Electron client.
Okay, yeah.
This is a huge step in making GPT Runner accessible to so many more people.
Yeah, because it's not tied to a specific code editor anymore.
Right. It's a standalone application.
Anyone can use it.
Exactly. Anyone with a computer.
Imagine a world where anyone can just harness the power of AI to like analyze data or generate content.
Or automate tasks.
Or just explore their own creativity.
It's an exciting future.
It really is.
Yeah.
And I think that's the kind of future that GPT Runner is helping to create.
It's giving people the tools
Yeah.
to do amazing things with AI.
Well said. And I think on that note, it's time to wrap up our deep dive into GPT Runner.
It's been a journey.
It has. We covered so much.
So much ground.
From the technical detail.
All the way to the big picture stuff.
Yeah. And it's clear that GPT Runner is a tool that's pushing the boundaries.
Pushing the boundaries of how we interact with AI.
Yeah. And how we think about information in general.
Yeah, it's a whole new way of working.
It really is. And hey, if you're as intrigued by this as we are, be sure to check out the links in the show notes.
Explore GPT Runner for yourself.
Yeah. And until next time, keep diving deep.